It's kind of a relief, you can, win a game, after, 9, 10 game slid on the road. It's a big win for us. Regardless of what's happening right now, for us to come together as a team on this road, last game on the road trip, and pull this game out is a big win for us.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I just try to take what the defense gives me tonight. Get us in our sets. They did a pretty good job. Like I said, we was taking the ball out of the net for the most part when I was in the game the whole time. We couldn't find a way to get stops, playing against a set defense. I came down, coach came down, we called plays, and we just let the offense flow.
When you go one game 17 shots, another game 3, is that mostly because of what the Celtics are doing, or is that what the team is doing?
I think when I'm most, at my best, when I'm the most aggressive is when we're getting stops defensively. I think the last time when I shot 17 back-to-back was against, I think, Lakers and Washington. And those games in particular, we were able to get stops, in the first half especially. And I took those shots.
Part 2 now. Let's continue this Jared Sullinger conversation. So, Jimmy, where we picked up, we were talking about what the heck was that against Amari Stoudemire? And Stoudemire was just all over him. He was moving him off the block. He was getting position for offensive rebounds. Yeah. A lot of kind of like backdoor cuts by Stoudemire too. It was kind of like a Gordon Gierczak almost tonight.
Stoudemire turned the clock back on Sullinger tonight. It looked like Phoenix Suns Stoudemire. And unfortunately for the Knicks, they're not going to get that out of him every game, so they shouldn't get too excited over what Stoudemire did tonight. What I'm worried about Jared Sullinger is this. If he's struggling on offense, is that translating to him struggling on defense? Is he letting that get to him? And when he goes 0 for whatever it was, 0 for 6 tonight, and he's struggling offensively and it goes back a couple of games, I don't want to see him moping on the defensive end. I'm not saying that he is, but I hope that's not just in his mind. I hope he's not thinking while he's playing defense, what the heck is wrong with my shot right now? Or he's getting frustrated and he's letting Amari Stoudemire get into his head, because every time I looked at Stoudemire, he was up above the rim, tipping in shots, putting up, getting rebounds over him and stuff like that. And Zeller too. I mean, I think it was a good game from Stoudemire, but just compounded by the fact that Sullinger has been struggling and did struggle tonight, it just made it look that much worse.
Yeah, kind of branching off of that. I remember Rondo said after tonight's game how when he was talking about his offensive struggles, that when the defense isn't there, the offense isn't there for him. He kind of feeds off of defensive stops, not only from himself, but from the team as a whole, because the way they can just get the ball, bring it right down the court, he can kind of set the pace himself rather than having to let those guys get back there and set themselves. And I think that works from a game plan standpoint, and also from a mental standpoint. I mean, if it's not like baseball or something where it's kind of a segmented game. You're playing defense and offense just nonstop all the time. So it's natural for that to creep into like for one part to creep into the other part. But I mean, you can't let it.
You can't let it affect you
Can't let it do like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
And the thing is, Sullinger's a guy that usually thrives in the trenches, getting mixed up, muscling guys out, being in position. And you would expect him to kind of get beat one-on-one a lot of instances, maybe miss a rotation or something like that. But it was really, a lot of it was just Stoudemire kind of getting into the spot when he needed to, and Sullinger just couldn't really get him off the spot.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is experience too. And I know Sullinger's been in the league a few years now, but Stoudemire's been around the block, for a while. And I just think he used some of his old school moves against Sully. And I usually think that Sully's defense goes into his offense. I think he's kind of like Rondo in that sense, where he'll come up in transition. Maybe he's the trailer and he'll spot up and he'll drain a 3, or he'll be the trailer and he'll pick up the trash and he'll put up the follow-up rebound. So I don't think that that's been the issue with him, but I don't think anybody really knows what just happened like that, where all of a sudden he's just doesn't look himself out there.
It's like Kelly Olynyk syndrome's creeping around the locker room, apparently.
It must be contagious.
So, and I mean, Avery Bradley was out sick tonight, so I guess they hit him pretty hard. But Carmelo Anthony, Jeff Green, that was the marquee matchup tonight. They both had the exact same shooting numbers, and they both scored 20-plus points, but Green at 28, he's actually now scoring 20 points per game, a number that we've talked about a lot with Jeff. Zach, we'll start with you since you've never talked about it with us. I mean, how do you think Jeff Green won that matchup tonight?
I mean, it's hard to say you won a matchup when you lost the game, but
sound like Jeff Green talking there.
So I said a few more words in him right there.
That's true.
But just what I'm most impressed with Green is just the consistency that we're seeing from him that we really have never ever seen. He's been here for what now, 6-7 years, And we've seen flashes of this kind of stuff. I mean, he did 28 points. It was a good game, a respectable game, not like who was it the game that he played? Was it the Cavaliers game earlier this year when he went off for 35 or whatever? He had that real kind of breakout game. This wasn't that, but it was a very good game, and it was what you'd like to see from Jeff Green on a relatively nightly basis, and what you have been seeing from him this year.
I think he did win the matchup tonight. I mean, anytime you hold Carmelo Anthony to 22 points, which is about his average, that's a win. If you shoot the same percentage as Melo, that's a win. I mean, because when you go into the game, yeah, Melo supposedly had the left knee injury. Didn't look like it affected him that much. No. Green was in his face. I mean, they used to put Bass on Melo because they didn't have anybody else to guard him. Remember that? You remember that? And now that Green's in there, I know pregame, Brad Stevens said like the only difference if Melo did or didn't play was that we have to have certain guys in the game to guard Melo at those times. Otherwise, he's going to score. And I think Green proved tonight that he was, one of those guys that could stop Melo. If they play 82 games, does Green outplay Melo for 42 of them? I don't think so. But on this night, he did.
And he did have that tomahawk or windmill slam.
Sick.
Awesome. That was something we don't see often.
But it drives me off the freaking wall that he doesn't drive to the hoop more.
Yeah.
When he throws down, honestly, when he had the ball in his hand up here, and by the time it got down here, it was like 0.001 seconds. I didn't see somebody dunk it that fast in real life in a very long time. Like if I could do that, I would literally just be taking 2 gigantic steps to the rim and just being like the Stretch Armstrong and just dunking in every time.
I mean, he looks like Stretch Armstrong.
It just makes me mad, crazy mad.
He kind of looks.
He doesn't do it.
He kind of looks like MJ at the end of Space Jam, where all the monsters are holding him and just keep stretching out.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Green could probably dunk from half court if he really needed to, but the thing
need
that's
to, so he should try that.
I would say that Jeff Green in this little streak here, where he's become pretty consistent in dropping 20 a night, a big change that he has made is that he used to, when he would make his drives down the right lane, he would keep fading away from the hoop and throw, just like trying to throw the ball at the top of the glass. He would I mean, you're getting glass, but you're air ball, you're missing rim like half the time. He's now making that second step in back towards the rim, and he's getting to the line a lot more. And that's the big difference. He's making that move to the rim instead of away from it. And he's starting to go left a little bit more, which has always been an issue for him. Tonight he had one amazing move where I think he kind of weaved back and forth through traffic, got to the left side of the rim where a defender was ready for him, but he had the shot and he didn't use his left hand. And if he had used his left hand, it would have been an easy basket. But instead he went up with the right and it got rejected. And he needs that left hand. We've talked about that forever. I think he's late enough in his career that those are one of the things we're just not expecting to happen anymore.
Pierce knew it. Pierce guarded him in Washington.
He just sat on that right hand.
And he still went right, and and Pierce drew the charge. And everyone saw it coming.
Yeah.
Like, everybody saw it coming.
Especially Paul Pierce. Yeah. Okay, so quickly, let's get out of here. Box and ball time. I'll just start. So my boxing outside of the night is Jared Sullinger, 0 points. I mean, that was ugly. We already covered that, so I guess one more would be Celtics never led in the second half of this game.
Against an awful team. My stat is 2. That's the amount of points Rajon Rondo had tonight. And if you go back to the last 8 games, in 5 of them, he scored 2 or less points.
That's ugly.
My stat of the night is 1:24-12. That is the date of the last game that Jared Sullinger was held scoreless in a game that he played in. So almost 3 years ago.
Double Sullinger trouble right here.
That's not too pretty. So for me, baller, Amari Stoudemire, because of pretty much everything, besides me dropping my pen, everything that we covered in the first half of this video. Thank you. I couldn't do it without you. Baller?
I'm just going to, I agree. I think Stoudemire was the guy tonight for them. Inside presence down low.
Take us home, Zach.
I don't think you can argue with that. I mean, we can say other people. We can say Jeff Green. We can say
honorary
Zeller,
ballers. Jeff Green, Melo.
I mean, we could say Marcus Thornton if we really wanted to.
Well, if he was in the game towards the end there and he had a chance, I think if he took the KYRIE 3 and hit that, who knows what we're talking about right now.
That's true.
Epic comeback win.
I hope he gets some chances.
On Thornton's shoulders.
Or even playoff Celtics.
When he's in the game, I'm telling you, they score quickly, very quickly. There was a stretch there in the end of the second quarter, or I think it was the end of the second quarter, towards the end of the second quarter, where he's put in 5 straight just like that. So
he's finally doing Marcus Thornton things.
Yeah.
I know we have to get out of here, but just on that Olynyk 3, you want a guy that gets you that 2-for-1 quick 3. You're going to put it in Kelly Olynyk's hands where you know you can't put the ball on the floor really well.
Yeah.
Give it to Marcus Thornton. He's a quick dribbler.
Yeah.
He can get off an off-balance shot. You're totally right there. I agree with you. I guess matchup-wise, lineup-wise, that would be a problem because you only have a couple plays.
Make it work.
Yeah.
You're on offense. You don't play to the defense.
That's exactly true. All right, well, we don't play to the audience, so we're getting out of here now.
Yes, we do.
Thank you to everyone. We love you. I love you so much. Watch our show, like stuff, whatever. Garden Report, we're out of here. CLNS Radio and Celtics Blog. We will see you next time.
I mean, it's just desperate. I mean, I guess we really wanted to win. We really need had to have a game, just to get a W under our belt and just get that momentum going. And thankfully, just diving for loose balls, getting extra possessions, getting stops we needed. It was really key for us tonight.